Doctor, his right pupil is blown. He's herniating.
You are a cleaner. Stay out of this.
Before the doctor could finish his dismissal, the cardiac monitor behind him let out a piercing shriek.
Number, that can't be right. Not now.
The man on the table, Thomas Harris, 48, father of 2, was crashing exactly as the cleaner had predicted.
I saw it. I tried to warn him, and now it's happening.
Dr. Bennett's face drained of color as the red glare of the monitor swallowed his confidence.
Code blue. Get the crash cart here now.
But the chain of events that had brought them to this moment had been winding up since long before midnight, 12 hours earlier. No one in this hospital saw the danger hiding in plain sight. At 6:52 a.m., Maria Vargas pushed through the service entrance, her uniform still stiff from the laundry. Behind the cleaning bottles in her locker, a worn medical textbook waited, its margins dense with her handwritten notes. She wheeled her cart into the ICU and saw the new admission. Thomas Harris, head bandaged, still unconscious after brain surgery.
The surgeon said the tumor was out. Tom, you are going to be okay. Just rest now.
His right pupil. It's barely larger than the left, but it's different. No one else seems to have noticed. Maybe I am wrong. Maybe it's nothing.
She stole a glance at the vitals monitor. Blood pressure steady, heart rate normal. The signs were still hiding.
If I say something, I'll get laughed out of the room. But if I am right...
She finished mopping the floor, her eyes returning to the patient's face every few seconds, the unease settling deep in her stomach.
I can't just ignore it. But who will listen to a cleaner?
Maria took a deep breath and walked toward the nurse's station, her rubber soles silent on the linoleum.
Excuse me, Nurse Collins. Mr. Harris' right pupil looks larger than the left. Someone should take a look.
His vitals are stable. Maria, Dr. Bennett will be rounding in an hour. I'll mention it then.
But Collins didn't write anything down. The dismissal was polite, but the message was clear.
She won't say anything. I am just the woman with the mop.
You should stick to your assigned areas. Let the doctors worry about the patients.
Maria stood there a moment, the words caught in her throat, then turned and walked back toward the cart.
I can't make them listen, but I am not wrong.
She pushed her cart back into the ICU bay, positioning herself where she could see the monitor and the patient's face. The minutes ticked by, and no one came to check the things she'd seen. The monitor's steady beeping gave no outward alarm. Yet, at 8 a.m., Dr. Bennett descended on the ICU with half a dozen residents, their white coats flapping like sails. Maria was already mopping in the far corner. A young resident noticed the right pupil was slightly more dilated than the left and started to voice a question. Bennett cut him off before he could finish.
That's within normal limits post-op. Don't chase ghosts. The mannitol is managing the swelling. Next.
Maria's hand tightened on the mop. The resident looked uncertain, but said nothing further.
He dismissed that. He actually dismissed a blown pupil.
She took a step toward the group, wiping her brow, trying to catch Bennett's eye.
Any other? Hold on. His phone buzzed. He pulled it out, frowned at the screen. I have to take this. 5 minutes. He strode out into the hall.
The residents shuffled, exchanging glances, but no one approached the patient's face again.
This is insane. I am standing right here and nobody sees it.
She returned to her cart, her heart beating harder now. The clock was still ticking, and the danger was being ignored. At 11 p.m., long after the last rounds had passed, Maria watched the night nurse leave the station. The chart for Thomas Harris sat on the desk. She put down her mop. She opened the binder, her eyes scanning the medication orders with a speed that came from years of training she could never claim aloud.
25 grams of mannitol. This man is at least 90 kilos. He needs double that, or the pressure will climb. No wonder the pupil is dilated. The swelling is winning.
She tore a blank corner from a cleaning supply form, found a pen in her pocket, and crouched in the break room. She wrote 4 lines in careful block letters. Check, mannitol dose, 25 g, Too low for patient weight. Recalculate immediately. She folded the note and walked quickly back to the station. With a glance down the empty hallway, she slipped the paper into the chart.
If they trace this back to me, I am finished. But if I stay quiet, he's finished.
She retrieved her cart and began mopping the far end of the ICU, her heart slamming against her ribs. The chart lay on the counter, the secret tucked inside, waiting for the morning. At 7:15 a.m., Dr. Anita Patel hung her stethoscope around her neck and reached for the Harris chart. The note fell out before she even opened the cover.
That's not standard. Who wrote this?
She read it twice, the words in careful block letters unmistakably urgent.
Nurse Collins. Was this note here last night? I didn't see it on evening rounds.
I don't know. It wasn't there when I last charted. Could be from someone on the night shift.
Whoever left it knew what they were talking about. The mannitol dose is half what it should be. I am increasing it now.
Without waiting for approval, she walked to the bedside and reprogrammed the infusion pump. 2 hours later, Thomas's blood pressure steadied, and the slight grayness in his skin began to fade.
It's working. Thank God. But if they find out it was me...
This was too precise for a random guess. Someone in this hospital is hiding their skills.
At 10:30 a.m., Dr. Bennett stormed into the ICU. His face thunderous, he yanked Thomas Harris's chart from the rack, and the anonymous note fluttered onto the counter.
Who changed the mannitol order? This is my patient. Who wrote this?
Dr. Bennett. The note was in the chart this morning. Dr. Patel adjusted the dose. The man's vitals improved.
I don't care how he responded. It was unauthorized. And Patel went along with it. Where is she?
He snatched the note, read the first line with a sneer, then tore it in two. The scraps fell to the linoleum.
He didn't even finish reading it. He's so angry he can't see the truth right in front of him.
Nurse Collins tried to step in, but Bennett cut her off with a slashing hand.
I want this chart locked down. No more changes without my explicit orders. If anyone touches it again, I'll have them suspended.
He's choking off the only help Thomas is getting. And I can't say a word.
The torn pieces of the note lay on the polished floor like a broken promise. As the distance between warning and disaster grew dangerously thin, Dr. Patel passed the nurse station, and Maria saw her chance slipping away. She dropped her wet rag and intercepted the doctor in the corridor.
Dr. Patel, please, Mr. Harris. His right pupil is blown. I've been watching it all shift. The mannitol helped for a while, but the pressure is climbing again. You have to check his pupils now.
Maria, I appreciate your concern, but I am not his attending right now. Dr. Bennett made it very clear.
She's afraid of Bennett. She knows something's wrong, but she won't cross him.
Maria's fingers brushed the worn hospital badge hidden in her pocket, the one that proved she once held a doctor's responsibility.
I'll mention it to Dr. Bennett when Her pager screamed. Code yellow, 4th floor. I have to go.
And just like that, the one doctor who might have listened was pulled away by a more visible emergency.
That man is crashing, and no one is watching. If I don't do something, he'll die. I already broke the rules with the note. If I break them again, I lose everything. But if I don't...
Maria found Claire Harris in the family waiting room, her head buried in her hands, a crumpled tissue on her lap.
Mrs. Harris, I know you are scared, but you have to listen. Your husband's right pupil is blown. The pressure in his skull is rising.
Who are you? Why are you telling me this?
Someone who sees what the doctors are ignoring. If you don't insist they check his pupils now, he might not make it through the night.
Claire's face went white. She stood, the tissue falling to the floor, and walked straight toward the ICU corridor.
Dr. Bennett, you have to look at my husband's pupils. The right one is bigger. Please, I am begging you.
Mrs. Harris, I assure you we know what we're doing. Post-operative patients often have minor asymmetries. Please, go back and rest.
But someone told me his pressure is dangerous. Just look. Just check his eyes.
Who told you? A cleaner. I've already heard rumors. Trust the professionals, Mrs. Harris. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Bennett strode off, and Claire crumpled. Maria appeared beside her, helping her to a chair, the hollow certainty settling. No one was going to listen in time. At 6 p.m., Maria pushed her mop past Thomas Harris's bed one last time. The ICU was quiet. The lights dimmed, and no one else was in the room. Then the cardiac monitor let out a piercing shriek. The screen blazed red, ICP 42, heart rate 130 and climbing.
The pupil. It's huge. He's herniating. He'll be dead in minutes.
She didn't hesitate. She tore off her gloves, stepped to the head of the bed, and opened the external ventricular drain.
I need help in here. He's crashing. Get Dr. Patel and a crash cart. Now.
What are you? You can't touch that.
His ICP is over 40. I've opened the drain, keep his head midline, and give me a 20% mannitol bolus.
She's right. Collins, get the mannitol. Maria, I'll take it from here. You did the right thing.
The pressure wave crested, then began to drop. Within minutes, Thomas's heart rate steadied, and the monitor's shriek lowered to a cautious beep. Maria stepped back, her hands shaking. The room fell silent, except for the machines. Every eye was on the cleaner who had just saved a life. In a small consultation room off the ICU, Dr. Patel shut the door and turned to face Maria, her expression a mix of awe and suspicion.
How did you know exactly what to do? You opened an EVD like you've done it 100 times. Who are you, Maria?
I was a physician in Venezuela for 8 years.
A doctor. The cleaner is a doctor.
Maria pulled a worn diploma from her pocket, the paper soft from years of being folded.
When the regime started targeting doctors who spoke out, I fled. I came here with nothing but my knowledge and this piece of paper. I am re-credentialing. USMLE, Step 1 passed, Step 2 in 3 months. But until then, I scrub floors to stay close to what I love.
You've been practicing medicine without a license tonight, Maria. If Bennett finds out, he'll have you prosecuted for assault with a medical instrument.
I know what I did was illegal, but I couldn't stand there and watch him die. Not when I knew exactly how to fix it.
I believe you. But I don't know if I can keep this secret. The board will have to know about this.
An hour later, Dr. Patel stood in Dr. Bennett's office, the faded diploma open on his desk. Maria's secret no longer belonged to her alone.
The cleaner? She's been practicing medicine in my ICU. That's assault, Patel. She could have killed him.
She saved his life, Mark. She's a fully trained doctor from Venezuela. Her only crime is not yet being licensed here.
I don't care what she was in Caracas. Here, she's a cleaning lady who performed an invasive procedure without consent. I want her fired. Today.
And what would you have done? Stood there while the man herniated. She did what none of us saw. She deserves recognition, not ruin.
She broke the law. If we let this slide, we're looking at a lawsuit and a medical board investigation. I am not risking my career over some unlicensed refugee.
Outside the door, Maria stood frozen, her ear almost touching the wood. Every word was a nail in her coffin.
He's going to report me. I'll be deported. 8 years of training, and I lose it all because I couldn't just keep my head down.
Inside, Bennett picked up the phone to call security, his mind already drafting the report to the medical board.
I should run. But running won't change the truth. I saved a life, and now it might cost me my own.
Before the sun rose the next morning, Maria was summoned to the chief of medicine's office.
Miss Vargas, I've heard conflicting stories about last night. Dr. Bennett wants you terminated and reported. Dr. Patel says you saved a patient. I need to hear it from you.
Maria sat stiffly and placed her documents on the desk. The diploma, the USMLE registration, the credentialing forms. She had been filing for over a year.
I was a doctor in Venezuela. After the political crackdown, I left everything. I am halfway through the US licensing process. I took the cleaning job to stay close to patients while I waited.
You performed an invasive medical procedure without a license. The liability is enormous, but you also prevented a likely fatal brain herniation.
She's calculating, not emotional. I can't read her.
I can't make a snap decision. This will go to the hospital's risk management board. In the meantime, you are suspended from your cleaning duties pending the review.
Maria felt the floor drop out from under her. Suspension. The cold, clinical word was the first step toward termination.
Am I going to lose my job?
That depends on what the board finds. But I want you to know, I've read your file. You are not just a cleaner, you are a doctor waiting to be seen.
Maria returned to the hospital that afternoon, not to work, but to collect the few things she'd left in her locker. The fluorescent lights seemed harsher. Every glance from a passing nurse, a silent accusation.
Every one of them thinks I was playing doctor, that I am dangerous.
Before she could reach the locker room, a hand caught her arm. Claire Harris, pale and trembling, pulled her into the break room.
They told me what you did. You saved Tom's life. I am going before the board tomorrow, and I'll tell them you are a hero.
They don't want to hear from me, Mrs. Harris. I broke the law.
I don't care about the law. You knew what to do when the doctors didn't. That's all that matters. I'll fight for you.
She's so sure, but hope is a dangerous thing when you are already drowning.
After Claire left, Maria walked to the small custodial closet where she kept her things. She opened the locker and stared at the mop, the uniform, the hidden textbook.
I did it for him. For that man and his wife. And I'd do it again, even if it cost me everything I've worked for.
She zipped the duffel, the sound echoing off the concrete walls. Then she sat on the cold metal stool, the weight of her suspended future pressing down on her chest. The silence was absolute. The next morning, the hospital's risk management board convened in a sterile conference room. At the head of the long table, Dr. Evelyn Chen called the session to order.
This is a clear violation. She performed an invasive procedure without a license. We are looking at a massive lawsuit if we don't make an example of her.
We are looking at a dead patient if she hadn't acted. She did exactly what any doctor would have done. The lawsuit risk is from the original missed diagnosis, not her intervention.
She's a cleaning lady with a foreign diploma. We don't know if her training is even valid. She could have killed him.
Her diploma is verified. She passed USMLE Step 1. She's been studying for Step 2. The only thing she lacks is the final license. She saved a life with knowledge that we failed to use.
Dr. Patel raises a valid point. Miss Vargas's academic credentials are legitimate, but the liability of the act itself remains. What do the other board members think?
The debate lasted over an hour. The room filled with legal terminology, risk assessments, and finally, a heavy silence.
We will vote. All in favor of termination and reporting to the medical board. Raise your hand.
Several hands went up, including Dr. Bennett's. Dr. Chen counted slowly, her expression unreadable.
And for the alternative proposal, a supervised probation with a conditional residency track pending full licensure. Raise your hand.
Maria sat across from Dr. Chen once more, the silence thick with her own dread. Dr. Patel stood at the window, her back turned.
The board voted. You came within one vote of being reported to the medical board and terminated. One vote, Miss Vargas. But the outcome was something else. The board approved a probation. The hospital will sponsor your USMLE Step 2 exam. If you pass, you will be placed in a conditional residency here.
A residency. They're actually offering me a residency.
This is not charity. You will be under Dr. Patel's supervision. Any deviation, any unlicensed practice, and you are out for good. Do you understand the terms?
I understand. I accept. I'll do whatever it takes.
Chen slid a thin folder across the desk. Inside was the sponsorship agreement, its words both a lifeline and a gauntlet. Maria picked up the pen. Her hand trembled, then steadied. She signed her name.
Welcome to the residency program, Dr. Vargas, provisionally.
She shook Dr. Chen's hand, and the dead weight of the duffel bag suddenly felt lighter. But the hardest test of her life was just 3 months away. 3 months later, Maria Vargas walked into St. Jude's wearing a white coat, the fabric still stiff and unfamiliar against her shoulders.
Your first patient is waiting, Dr. Vargas. He's been asking for you.
In room 304, Thomas Harris sat propped against pillows, his wife Claire beside him.
They told me what you did. You saved my life, and I didn't even know your name.
You fought for him when no one else would. We'll never forget it.
I just did what I was trained to do. I am only glad it was enough.
His last CT was clean. Full neurologic recovery. You did that, Maria.
I am not the cleaner anymore. I am the doctor who noticed, and he's alive.
Later, Thomas shook her hand with the grip of a man who had come back from the edge. The badge clipped to her coat read resident physician, 2 words she had fought for. Scrub by scrub, floor by floor. A week after Thomas went home, a routine gallbladder operation turned catastrophic in OR2. A blood vessel tore, flooding the surgical field with crimson. Dr. Bennett's voice cracked over the suction.
I can't see the bleeder. Suction. More suction. Somebody get this blood out of my field now.
It's behind the liver bed, Dr. Bennett. Angle the scope 30 degrees left. I can see the clip point from here.
She's a first-year resident, but if I don't trust her, we lose him. Do it. Take the clip. Now.
Her hands moved with a veteran's precision. The clip slid into place, and the bleeding stopped. The tension in the room broke like a fever. Later, in the empty scrub room, Bennett's footsteps slowed behind her. His scrubbed hands hung at his sides.
You were right. I wouldn't have seen that angle. Your training, it's not just on paper.
He extended his hand. She looked at it, then shook it firmly. The grip was stronger than she expected.
He didn't say sorry, but for the first time, he saw me as a doctor. That was enough to quiet the old doubts.
1 month after the surgery that nearly cost a life, the hospital atrium filled with staff, patients, and a large banner reading, "Thank you, Maria Vargas."
You gave me my husband back. You never stopped fighting. We owe you everything.
I was unconscious, but my wife told me everything. You saw what everyone else missed. Thank you for not looking away.
This hospital is launching a new pathway, sponsoring internationally trained physicians, and Dr. Maria Vargas is our first.
Then Dr. Bennett stepped forward and took the microphone. For a long second, he just looked at her, his jaw tight.
I was wrong. I dismissed a colleague because she wore a cleaner's uniform. I am sorry. Dr. Vargas, you saved a life that I almost lost.
The silence was thick, and then a slow clap started in the back of the crowd, swelling until the room was filled with it.
The uniform didn't matter. What mattered was the patient. I just did what I was trained to do.
Bennett approached her, hand extended once more. This time, the cameras flashed as the 2 doctors shook hands before the entire hospital. The distance between warning and disbelief finally closed. The hospital would never ignore a quiet voice again. Late that night, the ICU corridor was silent. Maria walked alone to room 304. The blue monitor glowed in the darkness, the same screen that had once flashed red with his failing vitals. She touched the glass lightly, her fingertips resting where the alarm had pierced the silence.
I used to mop this floor, praying someone would listen. Now I am the one who saves lives here.
Her reflection stared back. A physician in a white coat, not a cleaner in blue.
All those years of hiding. It was worth it.
A quiet smile softened her face. Not triumph, peace. She let her hand fall, turned, and walked toward the door. Out in the hallway, a nurse nodded respectfully. No one looked at the floor. She pushed through the exit. The cool night air hit her face, and the hospital lights shrank behind her. The cool night air clung to her as she walked down the brightly lit main corridor. The sounds of the hospital pulsed gently around her. Staff members she passed offered small nods of recognition. Not pity, respect.
No more mopping these floors. No more hidden textbooks, just medicine.
She passed the custodial closet where she had once sat and wept. The door was closed now, and she did not look back. Her white coat whispered against her scrubs with every step, a sound she had earned. The main entrance loomed ahead, its glass doors reflecting the streetlights.
I walked in here a cleaner. I am walking out a doctor.
She pushed the heavy door. Cold air and city sounds rushed in. She stepped outside, the hospital lights glinting off the polished name badge on her chest. Resident physician. The night was cold, but Maria didn't notice. She was exactly where she was supposed to be. The sun was setting behind St. Jude's Hospital, painting the sky in orange and pink. From the main entrance, a lone figure in a white coat emerged. Her silhouette stretched long across the concrete.
I used to scrub these steps. Now they lead me home.
She paused on the bottom step, the hospital's glass facade glowing soft gold in the fading light. For a moment, she simply breathed. The weight of all those months hung in the quiet evening air.
They said I was just a cleaner. They were wrong.
Then she continued walking, her coat fluttering in the evening breeze, a doctor heading home. The hospital doors closed automatically behind her. But the silence they once held was broken forever. Doctors ignored the cleaning lady's warning. But one woman refused to stay silent, and minutes later, it saved a patient's life. The sun dipped below the horizon, and Maria Vargas became a story the hospital would tell for years.